All right, let's hand it over to Laura Ingram, who is joining us via satellite. Good morning to you, Laura.
Hey, guys, that Kane rally, the crowd there, I think instead of stronger together behind him, it should say stronger but fewer. I think it would be much more appropriate.
It was a small event
look at that.
West Palm Beach.
Yeah. I mean, it's not easy being number 2 in the ticket, but if that is not a good sign.
I have more kids at a birthday party in my backyard than that. Come on, that's ridiculous.
So what do you make of all this? Because if you look at the polls, it says that Hillary Clinton is up, the majority of the polls at least, and then you look at these rallies, and Trump's filling stadiums, 20,000 people, and then you look at the Tim Kaine rally, and there are only 30 people there.
I don't know what to make of these polls. I mean, I think Trump's probably behind. I don't think my gut is that he's not behind 5 points, and I can say that last week I was in Missouri, of course, Nevada with you guys at the debate. Yep. Then I went over to Florida. I was in Tampa and over to Lakeland, Florida, and then to Alabama over the weekend. At the Alabama game, Roll Tide, Brian.
Yep.
So,
I saw your Twitter.
So many people were coming up to me and saying, how can these polls be right? Because I think a lot of folks feel that the enthusiasm is on Trump's side. People who are more excited about voting and more excited, of course, about change, wanting to shake up the corruption in Washington. You know, he calls it drain the swamp, which is a great metaphor. I feel that. And again, I understand where the polls are. I'm not trying to wish them away. But I don't feel that it's as dire as a lot of the people who go on cable are saying for Trump. Right. I think he has to stop the self-inflicted wounds, stop talking about every criticism or defending against every, new person who comes forward and says they were, not treated well. I focus on America. America needs a fix. They need to have a turnaround. That's what he should focus on.
Well, I think Kellyanne has been telling him that. I don't think that whole suing the accusers was her idea or the speechwriter's idea. We'll have to see, but you would know better.
It just keeps the story going. I don't get it. I just don't get it, and I wouldn't say it. I think it's just a waste of his time, and it certainly doesn't help in the polls.
Meanwhile, it was the lead in everybody's story who's covering it. About 20 minutes ago, we talked to Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy about what Republicans need to do. Are they finally going to get behind Donald Trump?
I believe we have to change this country. We are going to keep this House. We need to elect Donald Trump president. We know the wind is in our face that supporting Donald Trump, supporting our members of Congress, we're in a fight. This is a direction of what do we want to change this country? Do we want status quo? And the only choice is, are you for Hillary or are you for Donald? I want to see this country change. I'm concerned about the Supreme Court. I'm concerned about the actions of foreign policy of where America currently stands based upon the former Secretary of State. So it's no doubt where we stand and what we're fighting for.
Is he speaking for a lot of people or enough people in the House and Senate, some of which walked away from him a couple of weeks ago?
Well, that was just idiotic. All these senators and congressmen who did the big walk back thinking they were going to get some electoral advantage by doing so. I mean, look at where Kelly Ayotte is now. Look at where Heck is in Nevada. I mean, it makes no sense at this late point in time in the campaign for a Republican to start even implicitly campaigning against his or her party's nominee. It has to be all for one and one for all at this point. That's what the Democrats do. They never, ever, ever break ranks. The Republicans seem to think they can all go their own way, and it's all going to be great. And in a few districts, that might be the case, but this is a national push for a change referendum in Washington. And if you're a Republican and you're not doing everything in your power to stop the Clinton corruption machine from getting over back to the White House, then I think there's going to be hell to pay by the voters. And I think down ticket, you don't support Trump, you're doing so at your own peril. Yeah. That's my sense.
Laura, and the American public has long memories. If a lot of Republicans, the establishment people, they don't back up behind Trump, or they have kept him at arm's length, or the never-Trumpers, people are going to remember. Next time that person is up for election, or next time they see that person on television, they're going to think, that's the guy who didn't help. Yeah, exactly.
It's like you say that to your, if you go through a tough period in your life, you say, where were you when I needed you? I mean, we all have had those moments in our life. And I think a lot of voters, and again, I've been all over the country in the past 3 months. I've probably been to 25 states. That is a consistent refrain that I hear. Where are these Republicans? Why aren't they fanning out over every swing state? I mean everybody. You campaign in your own state, I get it. But This should be a push for the ending of the corruption in Washington. I know we're going to get to the Obamacare story, but I just think voters like, you've got to be kidding me. We finally have a chance to retire the Clintons. Finally. And you're not anywhere to be found? You got to be kidding me.
I'm glad you brought up.
Why should we vote for you? Why should we vote for you or send you a penny in the future if you're not doing everything you can to stop Hillary?
Well, I'm glad you brought up Obamacare, because I was watching Bret Baier last night, and it was a Fox News alert that we've just found out premiums are going up. Double digits. This was Nancy Pelosi when they promised us what Obamacare was going to do for our country. Listen to this.
Affordable. Good. Affordable. There's a reason. Affordable. 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 Affordable.
I guess not so much.
That was compelling rhetoric. Look, this is the lie that's been told and retold, and so many lapdogs in the American media just suck that up and spit it out in headline after headline. And we now know the truth. Doctors leaving en masse. Your premiums are doubling, in some cases tripling. Mine have gone up, I think, about 36%. And we have fewer choices in insurance companies. Now all these insurers are pulling out of Obamacare exchanges. A lot of doctors are now deciding they can't make it with these low Medicare reimbursements. They're opting out of Medicare. I mean, they've created a system that was designed to fail. We know that now. Hillary has no problem, and she ultimately wanted a single-payer, ultimate government control system for health care. It was never about patients. It was always about redistributing wealth, and not a single Republican supported it. And I got to say one more thing. Feingold in Wisconsin. Remember, he was the deciding vote, I believe, in Obamacare. He's up against Ron Johnson. Everybody in Wisconsin, you better know where Russ Feingold was when you needed him to tell the truth about Obamacare.
And Evan Bayh. Evan Bayh as well.
Same thing. In Indiana. This is a massive news story for 2 weeks left in this election cycle. This could actually turn a lot of voters back to the Republican fold, given what they're going to be paying out of pocket.
Because you don't need to hear Barack Obama speak or Donald Trump speak to understand where you stand, because it affects everybody individually. And it doesn't matter who you like. It depends on what you can afford. Here's a quote about Obamacare from Hillary Rodham Clinton to the Goldman Sachs people, stuff we were never supposed to see because it was leaked. Yeah. The way I look at it, it's either going to work or it's not going to work. We have an election next November. Make it an issue. By next November, people running for office are either defending or not defending the Affordable Care Act. It will be an electoral issue. She's telling you, weigh in, while the president is confirming it's beginning to break.
Well, Brian, I think there's so much compassion and concern coming from Hillary Clinton in that quote you pulled from the Goldman Sachs speech. There's a coldness about her rhetoric on this issue that affects every working person in this country who hasn't made $150 million in the past 15 years. This is expensive. This is vital for each American, and young people especially who are watching this all across the country, understand you were sold a lie about Obamacare. Whatever you think about Trump, he's crude. He's not corrupt. The Clintons are corrupt. Corrupt versus crude occasionally. I'll take crude occasionally any day over a party and a candidate who has methodically lied and dissembled about this issue.
Laura, I talked to Congressman Rowe yesterday, who's a doctor, and he said there is a Republican plan in detail. They all say 26 years old. You can stay on your parents' insurance. They all say pre-existing conditions, no problem. And Donald Trump, they say, has been briefed on it. Let's see if he begins to bring it up right now.
Absolutely. And guys, again, this is an issue where a Republican president will work with a Republican House and Senate. That's why you need all of these guys on the same page, and girls and women all across the country, to make this a campaign issue that could change the whole dynamic in this race. And I believe it actually can. This is a big one, breaking so late in the campaign.
Well, there's plenty of time, 2 weeks to go till it's all decided. We thank you very much for joining us live, Laura. Now go do your radio show and run Life Set, would you?
All right. Take care.